This is a Porsche Boxster in Viola Metallic, one of the rarest colors ever optioned on these cars. And today I'll be splitting it in half with tape. The driver's side will be getting my years of experience, and the passenger side will be completely controlled by every decision the AI makes. Can this brick in my hand actually outperform me, or will this just end up being a super expensive paint job? Here we've got the front driver's side wheel, which I'll be tackling first so that I don't get brake dust all over the rest of the car. So we've got pre-wash in here, and we're just gonna chuck it on, let it sit for a couple of minutes, rinse it off, and then be left with a pretty clean wheel, I would say. Go in for a hand wash and get it looking just that extra 5% better. Let's go. So we've got the pre-wash on there. You can see the wheel is protected, so it's kind of beading up and falling off and bringing all the dirt out with it. So we'll leave that, let it sit. Try not let it dry on the paint because it's getting super warm, but we'll crack on, get this rinsed off, and then hopefully we'll be left with a pretty clean wheel. Right, now, the way I would normally tackle wheels like this, which aren't too bad, is just spray liberally all-purpose cleaner. So this is just Kokemi. No, it's not. It's Bilhamba Surf X HD, this is. And then I've got my brushes here, and I've got my jet wash here. Just rinse all the brushes, because to be honest, this is not too dirty and it doesn't need a load of buckets and everything. So, you know, if there was caked on brake dust, everything, I'd be doing the full routine, but these wheels can kind of just be treated like a maintenance wash, because as soon as I touch that with a brush, it cleans up super nice, and you just get, yeah, you get left with a nice clean wheel. And there you have it, the wheels are clean. Now, I've tried before on this car and you can't get into the wheel barrel enough on these wheels to kind of get a good clean. So the wheels would have to come off, but it's a bit too much hassle for a day's work. So, you know, when we've got the rest of the car to do, wax, interior, everything like that on a day like today, it's just not happening. So we've got the faces and tires clean, arches are clean, and they're looking pretty good now. Right, so I've been to Gemini, and that's given me a infographic here, but it's not actually told me what I need. So I've decided to rule out Gemini and just go with the classic ChatGPT, which tells us everything that we'll need. We do have all of these things, so that's fine. And it tells you the steps. So we've got rinser wheels. See, it doesn't say pre-wash, so we're going to follow this as exact as we can. Spray wheel cleaner, let it dwell, scrub, rinse. So, right, we'll rinse it, I assume, just with water. Then do what we did before on the other wheels. So we're going to give this wheel to ChatGPT and see how it fares without the pre-wash. It'll probably come up looking the same, but I always feel a bit more comfortable pre-washing, but it just says rinse, so we're just going to rinse. Okay, so it seems a similar sort of process. Spray the wheel cleaner, spray the brushes, and give it a good old clean, but it's not knocked as much dirt off, but we'll spray this on and see where it comes up. Because we've now had a pre-wash, I'm gonna soak it a little bit more and let it sit a little bit longer, and then get the tire as well. Okay, so that's been sitting for about a minute now, minute and a half. We'll go in and we'll see how much damage we can do. So that took about the same amount of effort. However, I can almost guarantee that if you had a dirtier wheel or you had brake dust or anything like that, not having the pre-wash would kind of set you back a little bit. Obviously, I'm trying to do the AI side as a beginner, someone who hasn't cleaned a car before, for instance. So, I mean, yes, it does work, but, you know, even after 2 or 3 passes, you're still kind of left with dirt in places and, you know, all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, okay, I mean, it does get the wheels looking clean, but I really think that pre-wash helps to knock back and make your actual wheel cleaner a much more effective thing. Okay, that's the wheels done. This side's been done with AI's advice, and that side's been done with my intuition and skill. So I will be honest, I kind of missed a couple of things. I'd always put a pre-wash on there first, and if you've got heavy brake dust, I would recommend an iron fallout remover as well, because that's going to eat the brake dust, dissolve it. There you go. You can rinse that off, agitate it, do whatever, but it doesn't really tell you that. And I did kind of specify a deep clean, so I thought maybe it would. But there you go. That's kind of where you've got to use your own brain and think, oh, maybe I need something a bit stronger here. Maybe I need something a bit weaker. If, like this, the wheels were pretty clean to begin with. So now we're going to move on to the exterior paintwork and get it inside when it's all clean so that I don't melt into a pool of blood, sweat, and whatever else people would melt into. Okay, so we've now got the pre-wash, which I kind of know how to do this bit. AI is just saying rinse the car again. If you have a pressure washer or a foam cannon, apply snow foam first and let it loosen dirt before rinsing. So for sake of ease, and because I don't want to put hot tape on and have all that stuff melting onto the car in the sun, so I've not put an actual physical divider down the center. Well, I'm just going to snow foam the entire car. It's the safest way. It's pretty much what it says here anyway. And then, you know, that and the hand wash is pretty much identical to each other. So we'll crack on with that. We'll wash the car, get it sorted. That lines up with how I work. So, you know, there's not going to be too much of a difference there. There's going to be one more thing we're going to do because it's warm. I'm going to pre-soak it first with water, then snow foam, rinse, and all that, just so it's as safe as we can be, and we're not risking water spots. So what's it saying? Yeah. Okay, cool. So after that, we've got clay bar, but it'll be coming inside for that because I'm not having it outside for that. Okay, so this is just a shampoo that's going on. I'm gonna have to work really quick, but I've kind of watered it down a lot so that it kind of stays wet for quite a long time. I've got my bucket here filled with soap and a microfiber cloth, and I'm just gonna go top to bottom as it says and as I would do normally. The car is not dirty. If you did have a dirty car, maybe pre-wash it again. Honestly, you've just got to cater it towards the dirt level on your car. But this, you know, it just needs a really quick going over. And then you're going to have a nice clean car. So we'll crack on my hand washing this and see where we go up to. Quickly. Okay, so now a little trick you can do with cars that are protected, you can, because this already has like a waxy sealant thing on, you can dry them with water. So I'll just show you on my half of the bonnet here. If you kind of get it slowly and get a nice sheet going, it ends up pretty much drying. There's still some water bits left, but the bulk amount of the droplets are gone. You take a look down this side here, and then as it pulls the water off, you get left with nice dry paintwork. So if you're in a hurry and you don't have a clean cloth, then this can kind of help get the bulk of the water droplets off. As you can see there. But I'm gonna get this inside now so that we don't risk any more, so we don't have an increased risk of water spots, which obviously when they dry into your paint, you can't get them off very easily. So we'll get it inside, dry it properly with a towel, or at least on my side. I don't know what AI is going to tell us to do, to be honest. And then we'll carry on from there, which I think will be, to be honest, this car doesn't need it, but it, you know, clay barring and everything. So we'll see. I might make some executive decisions there, but we'll get it inside and go from there. Okay, so next up we've got dry thoroughly using a large microfiber drying towel. Avoid air drying, pretty much exactly as I would do. Now we do already have some water spots drying on, which is not fun, but that should come off when we wax it if we're quick enough. So, right, look, you all can judge me, right? But these are great drying towels. They are the Armor All ones. I just think they're awesome. So we'll dry this and be depressed that there's that many water spots, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, they should come off. So not too concerned about that. Make sure to get in every little bit that you can. Like so, around your wing mirrors, right down to the front. I mean, if you come here, you can see where I dried it with the water on this side and didn't touch this side. So if you had just left it, in fact, there's barely, if you come here, take a look, there's barely any water spots on this side. There's a couple, but there isn't a lot. And then if you come over this side, you can see you do have quite a few all about here. So suppose that is a benefit of at least having an inkling of what you're supposed to do. So just carry on around this. And I mean, you can even see the wing, etc. It's, I mean, this door is, apart from where the wing mirror goes, it's dry. Quarter panel's dry. Yeah, I love the method of drying it with the water. It just works every single time. So she is pretty much dry now. Just last little kind of bits to get. There we go. That's as dry as I need it to be. So we'll pop that back in there. And we'll take a breather. Well needed. Okay, next up, AI and Jacob say to do the door jambs. So we've got some waterless wash. Spray it on. And wipe it off. And then that'll dry to a haze. And then you can just go flip to the clean side. And there you have a nice clean door jamb. Obviously, I need to do the rest of it. The boot, the engine compartment, the bonnet, the frunk. I'm not American, the fruit. And the driver's side, and then it will all be clean. But that just shows you how easy it is. And that already has made a nice little clean entrance into the cabin of the vehicle. crack on with the rest of it and go from there. Okay, so now it's telling us to get on with the interior. So I'll line up my sort of ways I do things with it, but I'll still do my own thing the certain way. So it's take out floor mats, trash, personal belongings, vacuum pretty much everywhere, clean pretty much every plastic area, and then you've got your seats and your floor mats. So I do it a little bit differently, but obviously AI's side gets its own thing. So it's take out the floor mats. That can go up here. And any personal belongings. So we have this, some CDs, set of keys, I believe. Oh, and the owner's manual here. So we will take them out, and I'll just set them over here. And then, yeah, we'll just listen to what it says. So this is what I kind of disagree with. So if we just take a little look here. Where are we? Carpet, right? Shampoo brush allowed to dry thoroughly. Vacuum carpet. But it says, so it asks us to take out the floor mats. Okay, fair enough. Floor mats, it doesn't say to hoover them. I mean, obviously you're gonna hoover them, but it's just something, you know, like what the floor mats get retitled as something else. So, I mean, you'd probably automatically assume it meant carpets, but it's just, it doesn't say, so there's something. But I normally leave the floor mats in, hoover them, and then take them out and then do underneath. So just because it avoids getting dirt everywhere else. So we'll crack on with the passenger side, get it sorted, and then I'll do the driver's side, and we'll go from there. We've got the floor mat here, and I mean, I'm gonna take it as if I was using my brain as well as just using AI. So I'm gonna hoover it, but it doesn't particularly tell me to, so. Okay, so there we've got a clean floor mat. The underneath is kind of that tough material, so it's not dirty. So now we can put this back in here, and then we've got a nice clean looking floor well again. So next up is, I believe it's in plastics. Vacuum, dashboard, center console. Yeah, so we need to get a plastic cleaner, cloth, and just go over everything. Obviously, this isn't really pushing it to the extent. This car's already pretty clean and pretty well looked after, but it's just a fun test, really. Okay, so we're back again. We've got 1 to 10 Surfx HD, which it's never failed me on plastics before. So it's a new bottle, so we'll bleed it through, and then just a quick spray on there. That's what it tells me to do. So spray onto the cloth and then wipe everything. Now it does mention brushes and everything, but on a car this clean already, you don't need brushes. Well, I say a car this clean already, that's actually pulled quite a bit of dirt off. So this might be quite a nice transformation when it's all said and done. That's kind of it done. Right, I mean, it's not the biggest car interior ever, so it is, you know, done the passenger side anyway. So the doors come up lovely, the carpets come up lovely, the seats come up nice. So, I mean, you know, if it was a big family bruiser or, you know, a big 5 Series or something, maybe it would take a little bit longer, but this is just exactly what you'd expect. This is, you know, I'm kind of just trying to base it off what I would do on, for instance, a deep clean or something like that. You know, a package that might take 4 to 6 hours. So yeah, I'll crack on with the other side. Obviously going to be my driver's side. There won't be too many differences. Obviously I'm going to be leaving the mats in, or the mat in, and then I'll remove it once it's hoovered and clean first, so I can place it out and then just put it back in straight away. Hoover's already there, everything's already good to go. And I mean, to be honest, like, if the car was super bad and you know, you get them kind of thick plastic kick plates, I'd spray heavier cleaner on them to let it sit and marinate. And especially pedals, I would never just spray it first on that. I would always spray it on the pedals first. So there'll be a couple of differences, but it's more or less the same process of hoover, plastics, and then glass and rounding everything off at the end. Oh, and one more thing actually. If you're doing the dashboard, definitely spray this. You don't want to be getting this annoying stuff on your windscreen because it's just a nightmare. Oh, this is actually another difference that I make between me and AI actually, is the air vents. I do myself. I don't do it with the hoover, especially if they're not too bad. Because with the hoover sometimes cars have sort of a softer coating on the air vents, and you can sometimes scratch it, so there's another tip. And then we get this guy. We get right in under that, and we just soak what we can, let it sit. Just a little bit on there, make sure that we can see that we've cleaned that. And then we get our microfiber cloth while that's soaking. And what I do is, I like to just spray a kind of a heavy-ish line, thick line, kind of try and remember where that is, and just go around the steering wheel. So if we take a look at the towel, yeah, we'll be able to see that. See there, that's all the dirt off your steering wheel. So yeah, it's looking a bit better now, that is. So what we do now is we give that one more light misting. Come out. We got a nice stiff brush, stiff-ish, and I always tend to soak that too. And then you just have to become a bat and be able to see in the dark. So just give everything a good scrub. And I always do these last so as I can use the same cloth, so I'm not wasting cloths either. Make sure you're getting all the grooves. You've got some nice, clean pedals. And a very sweaty man because it's, what is it, 27.6 degrees. So, jeez. And that is the interior done. You can go further, and granted, to artificial intelligence, it does tell you how to, but this car really doesn't need it. As you can see, a really nice spruce up, and you're good to go, really. So that's another thing with just using your brain. Does the car need it? Does it not need it? Yes, no. It's up to you. I personally, this car doesn't need a lot more. Maybe a little bit on these leathers. I might do a little 50-50 on them just to see how they come up. But apart from that, that interior is done. I'll throw some tape down on that seat and we'll see if we can get a noticeable difference. So if you were to follow AI's instructions, I've just checked, and it says for leather seats, you spray, wipe, done. It doesn't really tell you what brushes or anything, so take my advice. These brushes, this is just a Kokemi one, just a regular microfiber, and I'm just using some all-purpose cleaner because half the time the leather isn't real, and this is diluted that much that it's not going to do any kind of damage at all. So you can use Polestar and there's all special stuff, but I've always found that this is just dot on for what I need. So I do never spray directly onto the leather. I try and load up the brush. So, and then when I go on, it's all ready, loaded up. So you can just sort of hit the seat where it needs it most. So that's going to be your bolsters. And you can see how much better that leather is looking already. So if I peel this up, it might not be the biggest difference ever on camera, but wait for me to just dry that. This bolster's definitely a lot nicer, and actually if you come and look here, it's difficult, but you can see this side is a lot more matte and this side's a lot more shiny, so it has made a considerable difference. So be cracking on with the rest of the seat, and yeah, I'm not going to bother doing a 50-50 again. That's, you know, solidified it to me that the seat will benefit from it. So finish that off, and then that'll be the interior ticked off the list. Okay, so this hasn't been open for centuries. I just opened it. We've got the King of Gloss wax from Soft 99, absolute peak detailing manufacturers. We've got 2 buff pads because that's what it says here. I'll obviously use one, and then I've got one for myself. And we've got 2 cloths because buffing and then refining. So these are new cloths, new pads, new-ish wax, and pretty much what we're getting here is apply a thin coat using a foam applicator, what we've got there, work 1 panel at a time, let it haze, buff off with a clean microfiber towel, and correctly, this is what a lot of people don't know, thin coats actually work better. So you want to be going as thin as you can while still laying down a layer of wax. So we'll chuck this on. This is suitable for black, gray, dark blue, and gunmetal metallic colors because it's kind of a darker one. That in my eyes looks dark blue. So we'll get on with that. We'll do 1 panel and then 1 panel and just work at it, you know, the same way that we would. I am tempted whether to use my other method of wax application from my side. I'm in 2 minds because I don't want the car to be protected half with one and half with another. So, because I would usually just use my machine polisher and just dot wax on, and I could have the car done in 30 minutes. But this is going to take a bit longer, but it's a nice day. It's absolutely gorgeous wax to use, so may as well make a treat out of it. And I'll do the passenger AI side first, and then we will see where we get up to, and if there's quite a bit of time left, we'll use this. If not, we can compare it. They both last about the same amount of time, so don't see why not. Let's go. Okay, so we're just gonna lightly get some wax on the surface, and that is already probably way too much, but at least it's evenly coated. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to slightly dampen this with just some sealant because it's obviously it's a brand new thing. So I'm just going to slightly dampen it, and then that'll kind of moisten it up and make it go a little bit further. So we will leave that to do its thing and haze over. Right, so a test to see if your wax is cured or not is get your finger, and see how that's smudging, means it's not quite ready yet. So it should just kind of wipe away. So, I mean, that's wiping away quite easy. You can kind of see there, it's wiping away quite easy. So I think give that another minute and that'll be ready for a buff. Right, so we're kind of looking a bit better now. It's dusting off. So ignore how thick I put this layer on. We will have to go over it again at the end, just with a quick detailer. But for now, it's coming off okay, to be honest. Especially down here. So down here where the coat was a lot thinner, it's coming off a lot easier. So now what the computer didn't say was about getting wax caught in the edges and the best way to sort of remedy it. So the way that I just do it is I just get the cloth and run it, and then eventually it'll just clean up that edge and you'll not have any wax or anything stuck in there anymore. So it's going to be a long day doing that with the entire car, but that's what's going to make it fun, isn't it? Plus it's bringing out the color nice. And then one more thing to do is just get a torch of some description and make sure that you've not got any. So see how that's kind of, obviously there is swirls and stuff, but see how it's a crisp light? There's no holograms or anything coming off from it. So that's exactly what you're looking for. You're not looking for stuff that's going to be spiraling out from the light, because that means that you still got a thin layer of wax on the surface. So we're going to do the rest of the, well, this half of the car. Now, I think just as a comparison, I want to do my machine polisher on the driver's side, because then that'll also, in a couple months down the line, we'll be able to see which side's lasted longer and better, which is good for me and my business to know anyway. So we'll crack on with this and I will see you when she's done. So that other trick I actually just showed you works the other way too. So if you do this and you've just applied wax and you want to see where you've applied it, just hold it on. And as you can see, there's all lines coming away and you're all you're looking very messy, but that's exactly what you want to see, because it means that you've kind of got the wax everywhere that it needs to go. So there's another little tip. Okay, so that is this half of the car waxed, and it's looking good. It's looking pretty spot on. As you can see, we've got no light darting around and all of that rubbish that you might come to expect, but that stuff is so easy to use. I'd be very surprised if there was any. So the next protocol is getting the driver's side done. So what's the setup for this? A little bit different. Since I've got it at hand, and this is, you know, a versus battle, we have my tangled cord, which does finish at some point. There we go. Okay. We have my tangled cord. And at the end of this tangled cord that I keep dropping, we have a machine polisher. What's going on that machine polisher is, where are we? We will get this guy. And I'm just gonna see if we get a comparable difference. Now, I think we will, because this stuff is really good. I mean, it costs similar to that, and you can actually apply it by hand. It's just much better applying it on a machine, and you just work it in. Then with this stuff, it's a bit different because it's wet. You don't actually have to wait too long. You can just sort of 30 seconds, which it's probably been about that now. Then you can just go in and buff it off. Like a normal wax, but this has like a much better finish. It's hard to describe. I'm hoping that when I get the light on it, you'll be able to see a considerable difference. So I'm gonna go get my light. So if you look here, you can see that quite a lot of the swirls have been removed. Come over here, and you can see that there are some bigger ones still there. So the all-in-one group stuff is really good at just sort of giving you a nice finish. It lasts about 3 months, same as that wax, but you know, it's quicker, easier, and it costs the same. I mean, you kind of wonder where it comes into play that you want to use normal wax, but I just wanted to do it as a quick test because, you know, I'm different. I quite like just enjoying the machine and seeing it lay it down in a really nice, even pattern. I like that a lot. So, you know, and you do get a much better finish. So crack on with the rest of the car, then we'll come back when it's time to clean the glass, and then we can wheel it outside and see how she looks. Okay, now we're getting there. There's just 2 steps left. 1, glass. So I like to do the glass with a quick detailer because it gives them a protection and it also cleans them. So whenever I do glass, it's with a quick detailer, and also this one in particular never streaks. So you get a nice, pretty much invisible piece of glass. And if you're coming onto your mirrors, all I do is use the residual stuff left over and give that a light round, and then you're not overly soaking anything. So then it's pretty much doing that for the rest of the glass. I feel like an old man. And there we have it. Finally, in the blistering 28-degree heat, we have a lovely, clean Viola metallic Boxster that was half done with the instructions of Mr. Computer and half done with the instructions of Mr. Brain. So we'll take a quick look around, see if there's any bits we think, oh, I could have done that better, or oh, AI did that better. And then we'll come to a conclusion at the end and see who might have been better. Hopefully it's me. So first things first, the wheels are pretty similar. The only thing that I think probably could have been improved by AI was the description of telling us just to sort of rinse them with water and then that'll be fine. Not really true. Pre-wash, always the best idea. If the wheels are pretty clean, then sure, maybe just a rinse, but 90% of the time, you know, you're going to be having to pre-wash pretty much everything you do. So there is that as one main thing. Everything else was pretty much the same. Obviously, we know about the interior mats. I've already explained that. You've got the likes of wax versus liquid wax. There's not really, you know, it's two pretty similar things. You know, your machine polish, you already have to have a machine polisher. You already have to know how to do it. So you can just pick it up and try, but you might hit something, you might do something. So, you know, I think for the average home user, sure, AI's recommendation of just a hand wax, ready to go, perfect. That's, you know, 95% of people are going to be able to do that, whereas 95% of people might not be able to just take a machine polisher to it and make it look pretty spectacular. But this is a thing. I kind of wanted to do this to see if it was gonna be like, if you could get detail quality results without having to go to a detail. And personally, I don't think you can, because, you know, obviously, if you've not cleaned a car for 5 whatever years and you go at it and all this kind of stuff, you might scratch stuff, you might swirl stuff, and especially if it's a nice car, you know, something like this, you don't want to be doing that. Whereas if you take it to a detailer, sure, you have to pay an expense of some form. This package from me might be £250 to £300. Obviously, probably not on a car that's this clean, but you know, it's a full day's work. You're in there for a while. You know, that's just how it goes. And the stuff you've not seen, you know, I think all the jams, but all, you know, everything gets hoovered out. The top would be folded down, but there you go. You get results that, you know, the sun is absolutely lovely and crisp, perfect paint-ish, and then you also get a protected car on top of that. So I think, you know, as much as I hate to say it, AI probably does have its uses, but you never, in my eyes, you're never going to beat what a person with experience can do, because AI can tell you how to do it, but it can't do it yet. I mean, no doubt we'll probably come back here in 10 years and there'll be an army of flaming robots marching down ready to take my job. But for now, I think I'm safe. So if you did enjoy, you know, do all the good things, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the Boxster. It's a fairly lovely car and I do enjoy driving it. And next time, I don't know what to expect next time. It'll either be the Boxster or I have got another car coming. It's French and it's rather large. So enjoy.